Hey everyone, welcome to Inktober drawing video thingy number 3. This video is going to mostly be me talking about how I done effed up on the first version of this drawing and kind of did a much more careful version of it, which is what you're seeing here. So this is probably what I would consider the first redo for an Inktober drawing. I kind of did a couple tester things before I actually did those first two. And you could technically count the first two as redos of the tester things, but I don't really, because the tester things were tester things. This one was the first where I went in with an idea, started to work on the idea, realized that I didn't really like it, and decided to redo it. I'm probably going to have the previous version pop on the screen somewhere around here, near the beginning. And the thing about the previous version is the line work gets really confusing as to what is an edge and what is sort of a core shadow on like chrome armor. And had I been thinking of it, I would have actually looked up pictures of armor before I jumped into doing the core shadows on the quote-unquote chrome. So, I mean, it would have been steel, which is sort of basically like chrome, but less intense. And that would have been good for dealing with, for figuring out how to draw what I wanted to draw. But, I was a doof. I didn't do that. So, yeah. We ended up having to redo it. And, I think the redo is fine. I think maybe going back in on the redo and chroming it out would probably be an idea. Would probably be something I might do in the future when I go back and look at all these things. Because the character's design is supposed to be very Art Deco-y and diesel punk. So, in the redesign, I went with something more... Let me look at it here. I went something a little more, flat, I guess. A little less about trying to get, like, intense chrome going on. And, the material would probably look a bit more like plastic, almost like Stormtrooper armor, but not white. I mean, it could be white. I haven't decided yet if I weren't to do it as chrome. So, the Art Deco style is more about getting, like, those, like, the repeating line work happening, like, on the chest and the plates on the shoulders and what his shield will eventually look like when we get around to seeing it in the video. And, like, the repeating shapes on the shin guards and arm guards. But, yeah, I wanted something that looked like Art Deco imagery put to armor, with a little bit of, kind of like the front of a very old-timey style train. Where it's like a giant solid piece of very, very polished metal. If I knew my trains, I'd actually say the model or two you could look at for getting that front to a train. I'm sure if you looked up Art Deco trains, you'd probably see a couple examples. If you looked up Diesel Punk, you'd probably see a couple examples as well. And Diesel Punk is kind of like steampunk, but not as lame. It's... Because, like, steampunk is basically like goth, but brown. And steampunk is a little, in my opinion, kind of tired. It's kind of like fantasy, but you slap some gears and a top hat on things. Diesel Punk is more like you're referencing actual things that existed, because, like, you know, 30s and 40s had a lot of Art Deco things going on, and it kind of actually looked like Diesel Punk kind of actually looks like that time period. You could also look at the Batman the Animated Series for a lot of Art Deco imagery and designs, especially the buildings and backgrounds. Not so much the characters, but mostly the buildings and backgrounds. And I kind of wanted to have the armor emulate that a bit. And like I said, I think the main change I would do is maybe go back in and actually chrome them out, and I'd probably look at some reference for that. And, oh yeah, this one's also the quickest drawing so far. It's at about 37 minutes in total, and I shrunk it down by about 350% to get it to the 10-ish minute mark. And I say, you know, I might chrome it out in the future, but I'm a little reluctant to. I'd maybe do it as Photoshop brushes if I were to color all these in. I'd go in with just black in Photoshop and throw down the chrome lines, chrome core shadows. I think, I could maybe do it with pen. I'm just looking at it right now. So my voice is maybe a little muffled because I'm turning my mouth away from the microphone. But, yeah, the other reason I kind of went a little, simpler with this one, with like the hatches, is I wanted to, as I said in the previous video, do something more deliberate. Like make sure my line work goes where I want it to go, and I don't like scribble in places or have questionable areas of dark. Like I was very, very controlled in where I put the heavy lines down on this guy. And when the final image is shown, you'll see them. And I think I got it mostly where I wanted it, especially compared to the previous two. Now I have to take this concept of the thick line work, thick to thin line work, and thin line work, and sort of integrate it better with something more gestural, like I normally do with pencil. So that's step 2, or 4 in this case, since we're going on image 4 tomorrow. Which I haven't actually drawn image 4 yet, even though I had to do it. I'm gonna do it while I'm uploading this video, actually. So I'm a little behind on keeping up with doing the images and recording the drawings, so I can have the videos ready for the next day. And I actually have to do a gaming video for the gaming channel as well today. But yeah, it's coming along nicely. Like this one, I actually like the level of hatching I threw in. And like I said, I'd probably just go in with like the, what is it called? It's not the brush. I'd probably go in with the graphic one, the 1mm tapered pen. You can hear me screwing on with my pens that are sitting right here. And maybe just quickly throw in some core shadows to make it look chromy. There are a couple areas that maybe even shade in as well, just to make it pop a little more. Otherwise, I think I'm not doing bad with the Inktober stuff. There's definitely, I wouldn't say there's a definite progression yet, but I think with the images going forward, there should be. I've got one more where I'm gonna do a character standee, and then I'm gonna do 3. I think that I'm gonna actually try to work a background of some kind in for 3 different characters, and then I'm gonna go on to maybe doing a strict environmental image or 2. It all depends on my mood, I guess. Depends on if like where I want to take the images as well. And then I could do redos maybe, or license characters, do actual fan art. We'll see. There are a couple things I might want to do images for anyways. Like I posted recently an Experiment Craj Commander deck video for a deck tech video, and I'm thinking I could maybe do an ink drawing of Experiment Craj. That'd be kind of neat. Maybe do some Halloween imagery as well. I'd probably do classical monsters more than let's draw Jason or Michael Myers. I'd probably do classical monsters, vampires, werewolves, etc. Since I do love horror stuff. There's a lot I could be doing with this going forward. Still, I think one more character image for an OC, and then some characters with backgrounds, then some actual background things. Probably gonna get up to, so this is number 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, maybe 10. We'll go 10 with the series, and then maybe move on. Or if it's going well enough, I could just expand on it, do more ideas related to this world I'm designing and writing for. So I think that's going to cover my ramblings for today. So thanks for watching, everyone. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Be sure to check out my Patreon and gaming channel, etc., etc. And I'll see you guys next time.